Before we start, just for the viewers' knowledge, that by any chance, if you have any questions to ask, you can just comment it in the YouTube chat. We will get to your questions answered in a suitable time. Looking at the time, it's already 1 minute past 10. Shall we start? Is it good to start? Okay. Before we dive in, let's just remind just to inform the viewers out there that today's session will be on internship experience sharing by the seniors. I'm Leang, and I will be the moderator today for the Santai session on internship. Initially, we have three speakers, but currently, due to some errors, we have only two speakers. The first one is Zaidan. Zaidan is from the Department of Information System. Hi, Zaidan.
Hi, Leon, and also the viewers.
And secondly, we have Xiong. Xiong is from the Department of Software Engineering. Hi,
Hi.
Xiong.
Hi.
As we all know, today will be all about internship. This session will be intended to serve as a guide to the second year students that has yet to go for the internship. Uh, as we all know, this is mostly internship. So if there happens to be any non-second year students, we welcome you to join as well to get more experience on dealing with internship. I believe many of us, especially the second year students, are now searching for internship. Some of us might have a rough idea on what to prepare before applying to a company to do internship, as they have went for their summer internship previously. And some of us might absolutely have no idea as it's our first time applying to a company. We are curious as to what the seniors have done before landing an internship opportunity at the respective companies. For example, there are many companies out there, different categories of companies, MNCs, startups, and small and medium enterprise, SMEs, we call it. So, how do seniors shortlist companies to be sent your CV to, as well as the aspect of a company that you evaluate before sending your resume to that particular company to apply for internship? Let's have our first speaker, Zaidan from the Department of Information System, to first enlighten us about the process before applying to an internship and before the internship itself. Zaidan, you may have the floor.
Thank you, Lehan, for giving me the opportunity to speak. So, the process of finding the place, is it, or trying to prepare yourself? Oh, I would say that, okay, so there are multiple platforms that you can go to in order to search for a job. So not really the most famous, but multiple such as Walk or JobStreet, or to be more specific for interns would be a website called Internships, INTERNSHEEPS. Yep, kambing. But I think for me, before I do that, the important thing that I do is getting my CV review. I had my CV ready for months essentially before the internship, but I do get reviews from it from experts, from people who are already in the workforce, and I get their reviews on whether or not this CV is enough for them. So because it is important, because that's the first thing that they will see from you before they call you up. So you need to really get that. You really need to make sure that it is good enough for them to consider you. How to spell that? INTERNSHEEPS. That's the website which is really dedicated for interns punya. Okay, sure, I'll write it later. I think that's for me. Yeah. is to get your CV prepared 100%.
CVs prepared. Like, how do you
Review.
actually? Sorry,
To prepare and also review. Try to
to
get
prepare.
someone seniors, or for me, I get a friend of mine lah to review it, and she's already in the workforce. So because she's already in the workforce, she can see whether is this part of the CV important or not.
Uh,
Are there some aspects of the CV that is still missing and such? Is this necessary? Because CV is short. Usually, it's just one page, so you need to get as much information in there as possible. And especially if you are a high achiever, it will be a bit hard for you to
to cram
fit the
everything
one.
inside.
Yeah, to cram everything inside. Yeah.
How about Xiong? What did you prepare before you actually send your resume, or we call it CVs, to the respective companies?
Uh, Hi, thank you, Lehang. And uh, I think before I talk about my experience in applying the internship, I would like to say a little bit about my own experience before coming to this stage. Yeah. So yeah, for me, I got a pretty good results in SPM. Then after that, I got a JPA scholarship since Form 5. Then I go to College Music Class Pahang, and that was the time where I started learning programming. So it's right after Form 5. Yeah, it's not very early actually. Then I am also a gamer. Yeah, I've been playing League of Legends since season 3 until now. Yeah, so my main is
Nice.
Lux and Lee. So yeah, both are pretty pretty good champions that if you aim properly you can get a pretty good results. Yeah, I think it's the same to internship application. Yeah, so after I joined I actually participated in many competitions, and I think although now to say to participate in competition is impossible because it's MCO and the competitions are not holding anymore. But anyway, since first year I have been participating in a lot of competitions, and out of that, only 11 of them I got some sorts of prizes, and this none of them is first prize. Yeah, so I cannot consider me as a very good programmer. Either way, so for the CV, I just put all the things that I've achieved that is related to programming. Yeah, but Zaidan, are you okay? Okay. Uh, what until now? Okay, so yeah, just put everything related to programming or to your fields, the IT industry that you want to apply, anything that's relevant. So for me, I put everything related to programming because I want to apply for a position in software engineering department. And the only company which I applied last time is Grab. Yeah, I didn't apply any other companies. So the reason is because Six Sense, not sure. Yeah, because I feel like Grab is a very good company that especially in Southeast Asia is one of the biggest companies. Yeah, I can say. Then in Malaysia probably is going to be very good as well. Yeah, I think that in terms of the engineering structure, uh, will be using the modern styles, and it really does. So the things that I've learned in Grab is a lot. Later I can say more about Grab, but now focus on the internship applications. So after preparing the CV, I sent the internship applications to the HR in Grab, and they spent like more than a month to process my request. So yeah, so there's one of the downside. It, it, it really depends on the company that you apply for. Some of the company will process it very slow, especially the companies that are larger in size. They need more time for preparing the procedures and so on. I'm not sure, but to apply for it, I waited for like more than a month with no news, with no follow ups. Then suddenly they call me for interviews. So the positions I've interviewed are two sections. So the first section, both are the video call sections. So I don't have to go to the company to interview because the interviewers are in Singapore. Yeah, both of the no, one of them is in Malaysia, another one is in Singapore. So it's two sections. Yeah, the first hour is about the mobile development, and the second section is about full stack development. But essentially, the content that Grab interviewers ask me are about the same. Yeah, so they are not asking anything specific about the domain, about full stack particularly, or about mobile side particularly, but they are more towards the fundamentals of programming, data structures, these kind of things. Then for me, how to say, I really over prepared for the interviews. Yeah, I think I've mentioned to many of my friends that during the video interviews, I simply wore the whole set of blazer in KK hostel. Yeah, so yeah, it's ridiculous, and I even have my stockings on. Yeah, so it's a full set of blazers because I'm afraid of the interviewers will ask me to flip the video, then show my pants. Yeah, these
Always
kind
be
of things.
prepared.
Yeah, I always over prepared. Yeah, over prepared for the interviews, and one of the reasons is because I only apply for Grab. If I don't get it, then I GG already. Yeah, so that's my decision. Then the interview contents, more specifically, they are focusing first in the first part. They are focusing on what I have done. Then I mentioned what are the projects that I've involved in, what are the assignments, then what are the approaches that I use when collaborating with my teammates. So I think this is important because we are all having assignments. Then how we manage the assignments is one of the things they want to know. And just remember in that section, don't talk anything that's not related to you or that's relevant to you. Yeah. For example, if you're not in charge of that particular task in your assignment, then don't bluff that you are in charge of that. Just say that you are not in charge of that, but you agak you know how to do it. Yeah. So it's one of the thing. You don't bluff too much, or just say anything that's truth. Yeah. You need not to be too underconfident about yourself. Yeah. So just say the real you. The first session, I remember that not only I mentioned about my good thing, yeah, I also mentioned about my disadvantages. So something like I'm lack of the management skills, for example, what kind of problems I have faced during this time. Yeah, and I can say that internship is very important. So if you need to choose it wisely. And I have seen many of my friends after they went to internship and come back this semester, many of us have improved a lot. So especially when we are doing assignments related, yeah, more relevant to the contents of our work, like web development, for example. Yeah. So there are the impacts of internship. Yeah, don't underestimate the impact. Well, either way, the interview section was fun. Then the second section was about coding. Then I even coded few statements of wrong codes. Yeah, I realized it when I'm coding, but they still don't matter. Yeah. So don't be afraid of coding in the live sharing screen or something like that. Yeah, they want to know how you think about your concept only. Yeah, it's not necessary that you code the wrong thing, then you will fail the interview. Yeah, it's not like that. Mm. Then I also need to say that one last thing. So before the uh, actually before internship or even before I entered the real industry environment, I was not a very uh, active student. I'm not. I don't know how to say. Because there's one time I joined a project organized handed by Dr. Liu, but I wasn't able to contribute anything in that project, and I ended up getting kicked out of that organization. Yeah, that's one of the things that I regret the most because I don't know how should I commit, how should I contribute. Yeah, I was not confident of my own skill sets and how can I use them to really contribute to the community. So that's also one of the things that we might be confused about. Yeah, just choose the internship wisely if you haven't. If you already choose it wisely, use it properly. Yeah, don't slack when you are working. Although we are internship students, so we are not expected to have any kind of work outcome, but it's about yourself. It's not only about the company. Yeah, I think internship is the how to say, internship is one of the only chance that we can get where we are not really bounded to the to the company's culture. So we don't need to worry about getting promoted or getting downgraded to what position or because of not handling the social properly. Yeah, we can just focus on ourselves because we are getting a fixed salary. So it doesn't matter. It's only the only thing that matters is about ourselves. Yeah, no, it's not about only about the company. Yeah, I think that's it for the first part. Thanks.
That is a very comprehensive talk on the life before the internship securement of a job. You mentioned about the catering of the CV to the jobs that you are applying to. That is a very good thing. I've talked to industrial people and they told me the same thing as well. If you apply to a job, a cleaner's job, you should be putting all the experience about cleaning all the things that you have done. If you're applying to uh, uh, daycare job, you have to talk about how you actually care for your brothers or your baby nephews. It's exactly very relevant to nowadays industry. Zaidan, do you have any more to add on to the first part, the life before actually you are landed a job in the internship company?
Well, I'll give just a bit of background. So I was, as an internship position, I was the system analyst, where I sort of write test cases in a sense. But during my interview for that, most of the questions they ask are two types of questions. One is the logic question. It's not really coding per se. It's more like they ask logical questions like, okay, if you are at the 12th floor and then you go down to the 10th floor, something along those lines are. It's basically testing your logic. How are you thinking logically? And the second is mostly towards you yourself. The interviewer wants to know about yourself, and I would say that try to be as human as possible. Do know what is your weakness and all. Because let's say if they ask you, do you think you have any weakness? And then I would say that time management would be mine, and they will understand it lah. So long as you can explain it lah, like in a sense where, okay, this guy really knows his weakness. And I remember the question that I was asked also, what's your favorite fictional character? Those kind of questions, they just want to see, are you relatable or not? Can you be socialized in the company lah? Because you're not just a robot, you're a human in there. It's so they just want to make sure of that lah. So don't be scared. Just there's no wrong answers lah in that essentially.
Interview, it's all about having the HR to get to know you before they can actually decide whether you are a suitable person to be hired or not. Is that correct, Zaidan?
Yeah, yes, that is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially the face-to-face interview. Usually face-to-face interview, they just want to know you in person. They just want to see you in person. Your body language, your sign, your eyes, how do you move, etc.
Oh, that sounds scary.
It sounds scary. Well, I was a bit scared during my interview also, but you kind of get used to it lah after a few rounds.
Okay, let's just welcome Afrie. Afrie is from the Department of Software Engineering.
Yeah.
Hi, Afrie.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, sorry for being a bit late.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's Afrie, we are currently talking about the life before actually securing an internship position at the respective companies. So you might want to share about what you have done before you actually landed yourself an internship opportunity at your company.
Yeah. Okay, so there's some three main stuff that I did actually. So the first one is like the regular stuff lah, like preparing resume, and do all this before applying for jobs kind of thing, that normal stuff. I think everyone should know it by now, supposedly. And then
Did you Google it?
yeah. But that one is normal, pretty normal stuff lah. Second one is like I kind of like tidy up my online presence lah. Like I update my LinkedIn account. And for us like programmers, we update our GitHub repo if there's one. Like also I update my basically my online presence like on Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff to make sure that, because nowadays employers they love to look for that, especially if you're a programmer, and it's not a bad thing actually. It's just you need to kind of direct them to show what you want to them lah. So that's what I did. I try to tidy up again my. It's not like I'm faking. It's like try to show that you're a programmer or some kind of that, right? And also the other thing is when I'm applying, right, I make a kind of spreadsheet like to keep track of the company that I applied and try to see the status of the application, like whether it's rejected or landed an interview or no replies, which is most of them. So yeah, that's basically that's basically the main thing what I did before internship. Yeah.
So I can sum it up into four different points. The first one is just a normal thing where you prepare your CV dedicated to the kind of job role you are applying to. The second one is to create an online presence,
Yeah.
which some of us might not even know about GitHub and LinkedIn.
Yeah,
And
sure.
this is something all the viewers out there and the second year students, or be it any students, they should create their own presence in the online world, right? And the third one is that I kind of get that employee nowadays like to intrude our own privacies. Is that true?
Yeah, they like to.
And the fourth point is that you organize all the applications that you have sent to the companies in a spreadsheet so that it can be in an organized form, and you can check on which company having what kind of status to you, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, it
That's
sounds
it.
very organized, but it's not really that organized, but it sounds. I try to make it as organized as possible, lah. And I'm trying to not to like miss interviews or something like that. That's just the main idea, lah. Yeah.
And there's a question from our live chat YouTube viewer. It's about what if I never join any competition event, which I don't have any achievement. It means plus I don't feel I have learned much during first year programming project. What he should do, or what he might be able to do now in order to prepare himself before the internship application.
Okay, so is he are you first year or second year right now? Seems like you are second year, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So
second year.
second year, so applying for internship next month lah. Next semester, right? So yeah, it's never join any competition. That thing is not necessarily needed actually. It's just for your, to be honest, it's just for your, I think, confidence, I guess, and experience lah, of course. But if you don't have any, I think just try to, for me what I did is, because I did join some competition, but it's not like a big competition. It's just like FSKTM one. And if you don't, then I think you should try to, and plus you said you don't feel like learning much, like on the program project first year. So the only thing that you can do is like do your own personal projects lah. Just choose whatever you want, like interests you, even it's mildly interests you, like you kind of like doing mobile apps, just go it, just try to at least watch YouTube about it, and then you have some kind of idea about it, and then you might be motivated to do more and more. So that would what I encourage lah. It's just keep doing whatever you want that can make you want to learn more.
Do something that interests him.
Do something that interests you, because
So,
if you're not interested in joining any competitions, right? So no point lah. It's just especially if you might have a bit of a low self-esteem. Not sure, maybe because seeing other friends, um, it can make you feel like a bit like a not like a great programmer as well, because you compare yourself with other friends, right, and see the other peers on
High achiever.
yeah, especially FSKTM.
Yeah.
Like for in my case, like even Jazing,
Let's
when
see.
I first saw him in my first year, it's kind of let me down. Of course, that's normal. So I think that's the issue. So just try to put that aside and just focus on yourself, I guess. Mainly.
it,
Mm,
it's it's like doing what is suitable to him. Like if he feels that's the
mm.
right thing you should do, then go by
Yeah,
all
especially
means
if,
do it.
and
Yeah,
after that you might be interested in that. So just go for it, lah.
just pursue it.
Mhm.
Jia Xiong,
Mhm.
looking at you have
Sorry.
joined previous all the Jia Xiong,
Uh, mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
looking at previously you have joined competitions, the programming and all the competitive programming competitions. What motivates you in joining all those competitions previously?
What motivates me? Because I'm a little bit nerdy. I don't know. But yeah, because I feel like I like to join, then I join. But I have been. By the way, there's a question about competitive programming. Yes, if you have a good ranking, then feel free to put it in your CV. It doesn't matter actually. CV is a representation of yourself. You don't have to fix to any kind of standard. Yeah. So anything that's related to you, you just put inside. Yeah. But I've been demonstrators since second year. Then I've seen a lot of people without interest to computer science, without interest to programming, uh, and many of them are struggling to to the future actually. But actually, all of the people here are struggling. Yeah, we don't know what will be the future after MCO, after this COVID-19 have passed. The only thing we can do is to focus on now and the short term period before you actually interview or you actually get an interview offer. So, but in terms of CV, I'm really not sure what kind of things that you can put inside because of the difference between individual. Yeah, what you feel you are most good at or you are most proud of yourself. That kind of things you can put inside the CV. But I'm really not sure what is the criteria of the HR when filtering our resume. Uh,
Uh,
that's up
what
to the
about
decision. Sorry.
what about if I've joined like register myself at the certain online website where we can do like Kaggle or Yuhan or the competitive programming, we have a ranking of our account. Should we put it inside our resume?
Yeah, just as I mentioned
Definitely.
just now, everything that's related to you, you just put inside. Yeah. So if you
Mm,
think that your ranking is high enough, it's convincing enough, then only you put you don't put like a 10,000 ranking something, then it doesn't make sense actually. You can say you did do
Participate.
questions there during your interview, but don't put it inside the resume. Yeah. It depends on your ranking also.
rankings and the relevance like
Yeah.
if I play Dota at 5k MMR, I shouldn't be putting that
I think
inside
you
my
should put
CV,
it.
right?
If you feel like you want to put, then you're proud of it. Just put.
Unless you want to talk
But
about it, lah.
yeah,
Okay. Uh, like that's a great sharing on the life before the internship job that we can actually secure in a company lah. After listening to all the real life experience during the internship application period, I felt that I myself has just mentally went through it and passed through all the interviews now, and I'm now at the company working stage. And follow that up with some sharings on the respective speakers at internship companies. I think that is the most exciting part throughout the internship period of time, and it's where we can actually do the practical works. I personally is looking forward to that as a second year students. Let's have our speaker, Xiong, to break the ground for this. Like, tell us more about the company that you have internet, which is Grab, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Grab is a very great company.
Mm.
It's a company that we always use, but we don't actually know what is going on inside. We just use our mobile and book and whatever food, transport that we use. Like, do you mind telling us about the job scopes, the responsibilities that you shouldered the moment you stepped into the company, as well as the things that you have learned, be it the soft skills or the hard skills that you have paid during the internship experience?
Yeah, thank you, Lehang. So, in terms of internship experience, I have seen many of my friends. Their internship companies actually, all of us or most of us are related to SE. So even if you are interested in data science or something like that, yeah, you better prepare yourself for some SE stuff. Yeah. So specifically in Grab, yeah, I'll try my best not to leak the company information or yeah, so they can ban me from from using their app. Okay, okay. So basically Grab, uh, okay. Grab, we have many different teams. So Grab is a very great company if you want to know software engineering stuff. The most recent one, the most modern one, because they are using some modern frameworks for their internal infrastructure. If you are workaholic, you don't mind to work rather than sleeping and eating. Yeah, you code all day. You if you can cope with that, you can work for yourself. Then it's a great place for you to learn so many things that I can say. So Grab has many engineering company all around the world. It's not only in Southeast Asia. There are companies in Vietnam. There are companies in Singapore. There are companies in Malaysia for sure. Then in US, I think in China also have. So different engineering companies. I mean the different office building will be in charge of different parts of the app development. So when you see the Grab app, the things that you see is pretty straightforward. It's pretty clean, but behind the screen, the size of the infrastructure is unimaginable. Yeah. After I joined Grab, I only found that there are so many sub teams in engineering department of Grab. So the team which I'm joining, I've mentioned just now, I interview for Android, not Android, yeah, for Android. The second one is for full stack, the website development. But after I joined, they only offer me to choose which team I want to join. Then I listen to my cute junior advice to join the backend team. Yeah. So for your information, in Grab, this is the first time we are the first batch who joined Grab as an engineering intern. Previously, they do have interns like in HR department, in other departments, but not in engineering in Malaysia. So we are the first batch, and for sure, we are not given any onboarding, many onboarding stuff. Yeah, we are given the exact same thing as the permanent was given. That's one of the problem that you need to be able to self-learn and catch up on things. So it's not for people who are not very confident about coding to join. Yeah, because you need to be on yourself. Your manager will be in Singapore. If you are entering the same thing as mine, which is only focusing on the messaging part. So later I can break down what else Grab has in general. So my team I'm the only backend member in messaging team. So it means other permanent workers, other managers, engineering managers, all of them are in Singapore. I'm the only one here. So it's how to say, it's a really the work itself is really depending on you to learn yourself. Well, luckily I have some other engineering interns as well joining Grab at that time, but they left very early. Well, how Grab structures their engineering department. It divides into tech family. Then inside we have many teams. We have teams that's responsible specifically on the mobile side, on Android side, on iOS side, then specifically in website, then specifically in backend side, which is the thing that I'm doing. Then we have DevOps, we have DBOps, we have infra team. Yeah, all of them are divided into sub teams. Then we have also QA testers, for sure, our enemy, enemy of developers. Yeah. Then it's a very fun process, but I can say because it's an enterprise environment. So the things that we are learning is very specific. But in general, I can tell you that no matter what company you are joining, you are going to collaborate with many people. So if you want to keep yourself productive, you need to know how to collaborate. The most direct example is to know how to use Git. Yeah, I found that many of students don't know how to use Git before they joining the company. But in fact, I can say that it is really not hard to know how to use Git for collaboration. If I count the number of lines needed for that, it's less than 10. Yeah, you just need to know less than 10 commands. If you need, later I can share. Then you can know how to collaborate with people already. Yeah, so there's one of the skills that you can put inside CV if you don't have other things to put in. Yeah, you can tell them that you know how to use Git. They'll be happy of it because knowing how to use Git, how to version control, how to collaborate with people can ensure that you don't mess up their codes. Yeah. So it's really important because we are touching directly to the production line. So the things I'm doing is messaging, right? So this messaging feature is currently rolled out already in Grab app. You can open the app here and see. The first task I was given is to implement the API for blocking and unblocking the contact number. So this is the first task I was given. Then we also given some kind of integration tasks, many things that's hidden from the user side. Yeah, so the entire process is fun. But again, I have to mention that it is an enterprise environment. So the things we are learning is very specific. And also the procedure is damn long. When I first joined Grab, because they have never had an engineering intern before, so I have access issue, like access to their Wikipedia. They have their own Wikipedia, access to their resources, the database resources, and so on. Yeah, I don't have direct access to the production database. Don't worry. So yeah, that's it. So many things we need to learn the procedure, how it works. We need to communicate with, let's say, I want to change the database schema. I need to contact the database team in Seattle, in US. Is it US? In somewhere that have time difference to us. Then after I ask, I need to wait for a day because they are sleeping at the time I'm working. So one of the issues of enterprise environment which we need to be careful about, and we are using the agile development process, which is agile scrum development process, which is a really high-paced development process. If I don't do my task, I don't deploy it, then the mobile team will be blocked, the tester will be blocked, and the tester will find me and say, why isn't it working? Yeah, when you want to finish it, something like that. So you need to work in high tension. But it also depends on yourself. If you want to learn more things, then you try to contribute more. You try to compare yourself with the permanent workers. You try to do it yourself. Like if I want to, I have to know the entire process. Yeah, what script I have to change for deployment, what teams I have to contact if I want to do this integration, what kind of implementation. After I set the implementation, I need to tell the other engineers how I implement it. Is it feasible? Is it scalable? These kind of things are about collaboration. It's not only about coding. I was the only one who focused on coding all day long. Yeah. The other engineering, the giants in my team, they are more towards the conceptual part. So I'm the blue collar who will code the actual implementation after I get the approval from them. Also, code review is a damn long process in Grab. I can say in short, there are too many things to say about the experience there already. But Grab is very technical in terms of the engineering structure. It's using Golang as the backend framework, which I've been using it after I go out from Grab because it's really good language to use. Anyway, yeah, this is a short summary of what have I done in Grab. Yeah, so that's it for me. Okay.
Muted.
Lehang, you are muted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a great sharing, Xiong, on the Grab company that we actually have to possess a very high discipline in order to do self-learning. And GitHub is a very good place to do teamwork programming. And if you're interested in applying to an enterprise company environment, that then you have to expect all those structured work, and you will only be specializing in a specific area lah. And just like Xiong, you have to deal with the time zone problem, right? How about Zaidan? Like you haven't given a glimpse of your companies and your company's name, or what you actually do at your company. So do you mind giving us a glimpse in your company's working environment and the situation ongoing in your company?
So a bit of background. My company's name is Finology. So it's a fintech financial technology company. We mostly deals on like loan origination and also insurance products. But for the tech side, basically we're managing. For me, I would be managing the customer relationship management system, and also the ongoing website which is called Loan Street, which is quite famous. To be honest, people who trying to get loans, they will compare the loan packages from different banks. So how they do this is that they will receive APIs from banks, and they will be displaying on the website. So Loan Street is sort of like the marketplace for loans, which is also one of our main products in the company. So what I did is, so Xiong mentioned that his enemy is the QA tester. Well, I'm his enemy lah, essentially. I'm a system analyst, the official title, but actually I'm a QA tester. So I write test cases, and also I deploy test cases, automation test cases. I do manual testing also, but usually it's for mobile apps, our mobile apps products. So testing is actually essential in the software development lifecycle, which kind of verifies the work of the developers. Is it good enough to go into production and such? I also do code documentation. Sometimes I do code documentation when if there's no deployment conflict and such. And towards the end of my internship, okay, so our back end for, I'm trying not to expose this company also, so I'm filtering it out in my head. So for our back end, we are using Ruby for Rails, which is coded in Ruby language. And by that time, towards the end of my internship, we had a big commitment to upgrade our Rails framework. And to do that, it took about 1.5 months, I'm not mistaken, because it's such a big commitment to do. There's a lot of dependencies that need to be changed. So I'm part of the team that upgrades the framework for that company. So, and towards the final week, I also design the UI for the new mobile app for them, which is very last minute because it's the last week of my internship and they gave me only 1 week. Actually, I managed to complete in 2 days, but still, a little heads up would be nice, I guess. But so yeah, that's essentially what I do during my internship. And I would say that collaboration is really a thing because I work in a team of can't remember actually. I have myself, I think around 4 people, 4 engineers, and also a QA tester. I'm half and half, I would say.
Hybrid
hybrid. because they lack manpower on that department. So I need to do both, I guess, sometimes. But and also to note that my company, I'm the only Malay. No, sorry, I rephrase. I'm the only local inside the engineering team. The rest of them are from outside Malaysia, India, Pakistan, Iran. There's also what's the name of the country? Nigeria, which is my team leader. So we are, but luckily there's no communication problem. We can commute well. They speak English very good, except for that one guy. I'm sorry. But yeah, communication is key in terms of working in teams, and also I would say really learn how to use Git as well. And I have a friend right now who's actually a second year student right now, and I think they shared code using the traditional way. I think they just put it on their WhatsApp group or something. Try to use Git lah. It's very simple. It's such a simple tool to use. So
Copying
yeah,
the Python file and directly send it to the WhatsApp group,
yeah,
right? That's how we
yeah,
share
yeah,
our
yeah.
assignments.
I've done that also. No shame on it. I've also done that. So
We all done it.
after my internship, I started using GitHub also for my own personal project and also for my freelancing work. So it's really a good tool to use. If you are working, actually, if you are working alone, also it's a good tool to use. It promotes a healthy code development. In a sense, that's one of the things
You,
that I really appreciate from intern.
I see. You have talked about the QA tester. Do you mind telling us about the job scope or what you will be doing in a QA tester job scope, jobs field?
Okay, so for QA test, for my department handles a product called Loan Plus. I think it's for the enterprise. Loan Street is for the public. Loan Plus is for the business to business. So the public won't really see it. So it's relatively new, and by that time we still don't have test cases. Actually, they have test cases, but it's not sufficient enough. So during my first few weeks, I only write test cases, and only after that I started develop an automation tool. And to do that, you need to learn the same language as what the backend system is working. And for that, for in my case, I need to learn Ruby to do that. And Ruby is an old language, I would say. I mean, there's not a lot of good tutorials, but still you can learn lah. I mean, you have help from your seniors. Um, so what you do is you develop a test script. So it will be put inside the CI/CD, continuous integration and development. Usually the process is that, let's say you develop a feature, the engineers develop a feature, and then they will merge the code inside the GitHub staging environment, and during the staging environment they will run the test scripts. So the test scripts that they run is my test scripts essentially. So they will run those test scripts first, and if there's any errors, the merge would not be completed essentially, meaning that the engineers need to check what are the test cases that fail and fix it. So that is my impact lah. But sometimes I also do manual tests. Usually it's for our mobile app site, because we need access for cameras and also audio. So we need to do it manually, as in using real devices. We can't use emulator for that. Yeah, that's for QA tester. That's for me. Internship. Yeah.
Other than learning Ruby languages, do you have any other type of technical skills that you have acquired during your internship? Something new?
That for me is something new also. I guess besides Git also, I do designing in Figma, I guess. Design for the new mobile app, the user interface design. So I learned Figma for, I think, for a day only, and then started designing. It's a cheap design, I guess, but they were very satisfied by it, and I think they already done with the development. So yeah, that will be one of
That's
the skills. Yeah.
that's great. How about Afrie? Afrie, could you tell us about the
Yeah,
company that you have interned at? I believe you interned at DGX, right?
yeah, yeah.
I have gotten very like a very good feedback from one of the HR of DJX. They are trying to establish a channel where they
Mm.
want to get students from our faculty because one of the interning at DJX is performing very well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they actually ask me like how do they like collaborate with you guys, so I give your Pecom contact number at club and all that stuff. So yeah, so DGX, DGX is actually a sub company of a DG, like it's kind of like the R&D department of DG. So they it was founded in 2016, and the reason DGX exists is to explore business beyond just selling telcos and SIM cards lah. So you know DG is like a consumer brand, right? So they sell phones, smartphones. So and they also sell the main thing, which is SIM cards, right? So the usual way the DG works is DG try to sell the SIM card, but DGX is try to create business that use SIM card that they can integrate with the SIM card that DG provide lah. So for example, DG have did a lot of many different products. DGX, I mean, so um, all of the products that DGX have created mainly to serve one purpose, is to sell more SIM cards. So as of 2020, this year, they, because they have created and shut down a lot of many products. For example, Vcash e-wallet, if any of you guys know, that's a DG product actually, but they have shut it down because they seems like it's not a sustainable business, I guess, because we have big boys like Grab and the other e-wallet, right? So they decide to shut it down. So as of 2020, they have tried to focusing on three main product, which is iFleet, Alisha, and Omni, which is all of it is business to business products lah. So I just give you one example, which is iFleet. iFleet is like a fleet management system for companies. So for example, companies have like transportation like van, cars, and motorcycles. For example, Post Laju, right? They have a lot of a lot of transportation in there. So how do they manage it? Is to use iFleet lah, essentially. So another example is Rapid Bus, like Rapid KL, Rapid Penang, all that stuff. So they provide Wi-Fi, right? So the Wi-Fi itself is provided by DG, and because usually in the market, for bus Wi-Fi, they just provide you with the routers to install in the bus. So what DG try to accomplish is give you the router and the SIM card of course DG. So that's the main point behind DGX, is just to create a business that can integrate more SIM cards, so that DG can have more SIM cards sold lah. So that's the main point around DGX lah, essentially. So
It's like creating a demand so that people
yeah,
we go to it and DG can supply the demand as well.
true. Yeah, it's like the internal kind of demand. So yeah, that's the main goal behind DGX as of 2020. Like their goal has been shifted for very different things. So, but as since 2016, it's been 4 years now. So, for as of right now, the main focus is that.
Talking about DGX, you have mentioned that it is a research department of DG. So could you
Yeah,
tell us about your role in this research department?
yeah, sure. So there are like four main job scope that I actually did, which is a very not it seems wide, but it's like very related also. So I would say the first few weeks of internship, I was given a task to deploy straight away deploy open source app on the server lah. So imagine it's like a DevOps stuff lah. for example, because they want, because they're experimenting with product, right? So they look for open source software that they can use. So they ask me to push it to production essentially. It's for testing actually. It's just for them to have a look at the open source project, how it works and all that stuff. So they give me like a documentation, like, okay, this is how you install it, and then they give me AWS server, and then just tell me to make it live there. So that kind of thing is, to be honest, very new to me. I've never done any of that before. So that job is helping me to understand how servers work and get me familiar with Linux-based environment, which is very helpful, to be honest. I think it's very, very helpful, especially if you are a web developer or something like that. And actually, those tasks took me a very long time. Because DJX is not that strict, to be honest. It's not like a big corporation or something. It's like a startup actually. I feel like it's a startup environment. So I'm very flexible. It's very flexible. They ask. So that task took me around almost 8 weeks, something like that. So I think there's nothing that Grab do which take that long. So so yeah, that is the first one, which is DevOps stuff lah, getting familiar with Linux environment. So yeah, so the next thing is routers and GPS configuration. They give me device like routers, like the actual routers. So they ask me to install, because the previous open source software was software that you can install a captive portal in a router. A captive portal is, if you're using Wi-Fi UM, right, you know this already, you've used it already, which is when you try to log into Wi-Fi UM, they ask you to fill in the username and password, right? So I need to implement that in the router. So they have this open source software to do that. So I need to integrate that. So there's a lot of configuration, and it's mostly command terminal based work lah, which I never really have a lot of time before I did internship. So it's basically pretty new to me. So yeah, and also the other one is GPS. They want, because there's also one GPS open source project that can integrate GPS to a dashboard, so they can see like a tracking of the actual router. And then I need to find a way. They ask me to like connect this router. They give me this router again, and then tell me to send the data from this router to the dashboard itself. So that is what I did for the second kind of job scope for me lah. Basically, yeah. Right. So I think for the next one is some automation. Yeah. So this automation they use, it's called, the term is robotic process automation. It's automation lah, basically. So what they asked me to use is I think automation anywhere or something like that, and to web scrape data from websites. So so DGX have one product which is Omni. So Omni have a dashboard, which Omni. So a little bit introduction of Omni is Omni is basically a phone office system, but in your smartphone lah. So imagine in traditional ways, like you have like office phone that you can pick up, all that stuff, right? So Omni is trying to digitalize that. So instead of having to set up those phones, you can install an app, and then you can have a office number directed to your phone, smartphone. So yeah, so what I did is because they have a dashboard for that. So they have a dashboard that shows you the call history, right? So what they asked me to do is like scrape that data and then massage it nicely, and then send those reports to the customers. So that's what they essentially asked me to do using the automation stuff. So that was also very new to me because I've never used that tools itself. I know automation. I think automation is quite common stuff in programming, but I've never used uh, there's a like special software to do that kind of thing lah in DGX. So honestly, those three stuff that I've talked about, which is the DevOps stuff, and then the second thing is router, GPS, and then the third thing is robotic automation, which is all very new to me. I've never knew about it before I even start internship. So yeah, I said I would like to say like don't be scared of things you don't know lah. That's essentially our job lah. You need to do what you don't know, so you need to figure out whatever you don't know. I'm very sure most of you guys also don't know a lot of stuff before you come. I'm not sure about Xiong, but I think but of course he also have something he don't know, and he tried to figure out during the internship itself, and that's essentially our job lah, even if you are senior developer. And then the last thing, I'm sorry, you guys all muted.
So life is about learning the known unknowns and the unknown unknowns.
Yeah,
Those are
those quotes. Yeah, it's basically figuring out while you're working. It's like, yeah, that's it. So there's one more thing that I did, which is this is more SE stuff lah, which is web development scripts like and backend integration. This is what I came here for this internship. Actually, this is like the main stuff that I did. So, but all this stuff, the last thing that I want to share here is very related, not very related. At first, for the previous task that I was given, I feel like it wasn't like I'm not really a developer. I'm a software engineer. It's like I don't develop product. I just create scripts, do automation. So it's not like fulfilling my needs for the internship. Actually, my goal is not. I mean, my main goal for internship is to learn more about development, right? So they give me all the stuff, and DGX is very good also because they ask me what do I want to do and what do I want to learn. So I said I want to learn web development, right? Essentially backend, especially backend stuff. So they give me because DGX for iFleet they have this internal like dashboard that they use to monitor routers and GPS. So the dashboard itself has been built, but they need some kind of changes and here and there. So they asked me to mainly I do that in my internship. So that dashboard itself use Laravel, which is a very good PHP framework. I think it's very easy to and not easy lah. I think it's for me. Before I come to internship, I'm a mainly JavaScript user. So from JavaScript to PHP is quite different lah. It's very different. But then essentially after you got it, it's quite easy lah, I guess. But Laravel, I think Laravel is structured the same way as Ruby. I think Ruby on Rails. So yeah. So I work on the dashboard to add, like for example, because they track routers, right? So the data about routers like phone number inside the router, and then some router is attached to a bus, so they need to track what bus, what the number plate, and then what company is it. So I need to do that to add those new fields. Right? It's a basically web development, but with integrated with the router itself. So yeah, that is what I did for yeah. So also I do some data visualization stuff, which is because we have all this data, right? They want me to display not just in tables, like essentially they want me to display like charts, like bar charts and pie charts. So I need to figure that stuff too lah. So
it's like transferring the data into something that can be understood by layman.
yeah, it can be easily understood by the business people, I said, because they use this dashboard to track the the routers and all that stuff. So it's easier for them if they can see like charts and stuff. Of course, Excel is as good. Excel is very good for this, but they want to integrate those things inside the dashboard itself. So I need to like research about how to do this kind of stuff in the dashboard to be implemented lah. So yeah, this
We have do you have anything to add on?
yeah, I think I have some other stuff. I continue. So the other stuff is I do some scripts for the for routers. Again, I work with routers a lot. So
Routers.
yeah, because they use routers to sell SIM card, right? So yeah. So there's this one job that I did is I need to make a script to go inside the router and then get the number of connected users inside, and then again save it into the database. And then after save it into the database, I need to create like an endpoint, API endpoint for the dashboard to consume it and show it inside the dashboard. So it's very like integrated within itself. So that one is also very new to me. They when they give me this task, they ask me to use whatever language that I want. So I just use whatever that I want, like, which is JavaScript. Even though they mainly use PHP, I suddenly introduced JavaScript language to them. So I don't know, but they're okay with it. I'm not sure why, but it's DJ is very kind of flexible. It's not as strict as like a enterprise level company. It's very there's a lot of going on. There's a lot of things going. Even I think it's a bit unorganized lah. In a way, it's a bit unorganized. But they do have QA tester. Don't worry. So the last thing is I did some backend integration with Slack. If you don't know Slack, what Slack is like a messaging for. It's like a Discord lah. It's like Discord. We use Slack mainly for working purposes to communicate with each other. So
I see that you are a gamer, so
not really lah, but yeah. So Slack, they have this one channel, not one. There's a lot of channel, like a special group that they want to spit out notifications there. So for example, if some of the routers are offline or shut down, they want to know if that's happening. So they asked me to check the status of the Wi-Fi, is it online or not, and then send out those data into the Slack not a Slack channel. So I need to read Slack documentation to know how to implement this using Laravel itself. So that's the other thing that I did lah. Also, yeah, that's basically about it lah. That's yep.
So we can roughly see the difference between is DGX considered a startup?
It's not really, but it's kind. It feels like yeah, it's SMEs. Yeah, it's
so we can compare between like Grab and
it's very different.
And DGX.
Yeah.
That's really
it seems very different, but it's in a way it's very same also. We use Agile and all that stuff, but I think Grab, because they are a lot bigger, so they need to be more strict, so they don't want to deploy bad codes and all that stuff. But for DG, it's not like we deploy bad codes. It's just we have more flexibility. They give us, the interns, more flexibility to do stuff like directly. So yeah.
So we can conclude that SMEs and startups, they have a really flexible structure for interns to actually learn about different kind of things. Whereas bigger companies like Grab, they will have a very specialized job scope.
Yep.
That I'm sure many are thinking about going for the flexibility like DGX and
Most
innovative.
SMEs, I would say most SMEs are. Mine is SME, but I'm not really that flexible.
Yeah, it
Oh,
depends
not
also
really
on,
that flexible. Oh,
it's not,
depends.
Yeah,
like,
compared to Afrie, I'm not that flexible.
I think it's very flexible. I don't know why. So yeah, because they are trying to experiment stuff.
Like before you actually applied to a company, how do you know that company is flexible or not
Or I
in terms of
definitely,
the
No,
job
no.
no.
Yeah, sure. You want to
usually,
answer that?
You actually you can ask seniors who have interned before,
yeah,
so you know how flexible it is, right?
yeah, that's it. But
We'll
also,
contact the
when
seniors.
when you go to interviews, like you can feel the vibe of it. You can maybe have a guess, I think, to know how the working environment is. So yeah, if it's suitable for you, so then just go with your gut lah. Gut feelings. Yeah.
Talking about vibes at the internship environment, like, do you mind giving us a glimpse after all the technicals information that you have learned? Let's talk about something relaxing and not the technical, like the
Yeah.
vibe,
Sure.
the internship place. Like, do you actually wear your pajamas to your workplace, or or you don't even have to go to your workplace to do, since we are computer science students. So some of us might expect that we are just sitting at home and coding stuff, those stereotypes. So, Zidane, do you mind debugging the kind of stereotype that computer science students will be putting on their pajamas, sitting at home and coding things?
I mean, it is possible. You can do that. I'm doing that. Not right now lah, but for my freelance work, I do that lah. But during my internship, I have the option to work remotely, but somehow I'm a bit traditional, I would say, where I need to be face to face in order to discuss complex ideas. So I prefer, especially during my internship, I prefer to be there physically, and I think I can count around less than 5 times I work remotely. And yeah, but as for the attire, I really just wing it. I just wear like jeans and also my hoodie and such. Because they're really free lah, in the sense where you can wear whatever you want. Just appropriate lah. The only thing that you need to really wear is shoes. That's the very compulsory one. Some,
So we cannot
but some,
barefooted
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
yeah, you cannot wear slippers, you cannot wear your flip flops there. But somehow when we reach to the office, you still need to take off your shoes. So I don't know. Somehow it's like that. I do tend to wear flip flops sometimes, and they don't notice it. But yeah, they're a bit free, lah, I guess. I mean, the stereotypes that you heard regarding like the attire and such, I mean, they don't really care about it that much. Yeah.
I see. Do you have like off office hour time works where you actually have to
Mm,
bring it back home and do it at home?
um, let me see. I remember doing the Rails upgrade. I do sometimes work until 8, where usually I work from 9 to 6:30, but sometimes during those periods, which is around a month and a half, sometimes I will go back around 8, because I do feel like I want to complete this before I went back home. So yeah, I just went back late. But then to think about it, the whole 6 months, even though my time starts at 9:30, usually I just arrive at office at 10:30 and such. So they don't for me, I don't have like a punch card or something, so that's one of the advantages for me. Can just arrive late.
Or without punch card? So do you use thumbprint?
No, you just go to the workplace and then just be there on time.
No,
Usually,
no attendance.
uh, yeah, no attendance.
Not like lecture
Because for
hall.
my because for my team, usually there's a discussion like a huddle every 11 morning. So I guess I need to be there before 11. Yeah, that's my time, I guess. Even though officially it's 9:30, but for me it's 11. Even though it only take like 15 minutes to drive to the office. But oh yeah, by the way, the office is at Jalan Kelang Lama, and during that time I stayed at the college, so it took me around 15 minutes by car to travel. So I spend on the road like 30 minutes every day going back and forth. Yeah, so it's not that stressful lah.
Is there any kind of benefits that you enjoy as an employee over there?
Benefits.
In terms of there's a lounge where you can actually chill
Yeah.
there,
Well,
unlimited flow of snacks.
of course there's snacks unlimited, coffee also unlimited, but I managed to control my coffee addiction. I do heard that they have PS4 now, but I'm not in the company anymore, so I'm a bit upset. Like we have a glass area with bean bags and all, so we can chill there. I mean, we do also have our own desk that we can work to, but for me, usually I just go sit at the bean bag doing my own stuff. And sometimes, because we are 2 floors, sometimes I go upstairs because upstairs is much colder and much more quieter. Because downstairs, we also mix with customer care group. So I do because sometimes they are busy, they are talking on the phone, and also marketing people sometimes discuss that even though they are in meeting room, but still sometimes they just discuss out loud. So if I need silence, I go upstairs because upstairs is the engineering department.
The working environment is not that stressful.
Yeah, it's not that stressful. I mean, you can work wherever you want.
How about Xiong? Do you actually put on your coat, your suit, and your leather shoe to go to work at Grab?
I can't recall what things I wear in the first day, but I think it's pretty formal one. Then the second day I wear slippers already, slippers and t-shirt, because there's no restriction. You see there are many departments in Grab, but only the engineering department people, they don't wear properly one. They all wear t-shirt and slippers will do. So there's a culture there. It really different compared to different company will have different cultures that you have to follow. Some will need you to wear formal, some will need you to at least wear some clothes. Yeah, then it should be fine. Yeah. So there's the situation in Grab. Yeah. There's
We
for
are, we
for
are
the basic
computer
one, there's
science.
no restriction.
We are computer science students. We just need to implement our skills. That's all, right?
Yeah. Usually I don't even wear shoes when I walk around. Yeah. I mean in the department itself, then at least you do the work. Then you don't sleep during your work. Sorry, I sleep a bit only, but at least the work is done.
How
That's the
about the
culture of
working
Grab.
hours? The
The working
working
hours,
hours.
I can say that I'm not a normal one. Yeah. So my working hours in the document, in the agreement, is about 10 to 5 something, or 10 to 6. Yeah. But because I was there was the period of internship was just nice crashing with my downtime. It means I was having a little bit of depression that time, not sure what to do. Then I tried to pretend to be hardworking. So every day there's times where I go to office at 7 a.m. Then just stay there until 8 p.m. something. Yeah, it's in the office, then come back to home and work again. So there's the life. Yeah. So I don't think it's a balanced one. Yeah, it's not that balanced because at that time I think I need to be more general or more talking about my own feelings, or based on my own experience. So my situation is like this because at that time I feel like I was in a shell. I don't know. I know I'm fine with work, but I don't know what's the purpose of life. What should I do after this? Yeah, these kind of things are not on the book. Yeah, we can't study it, not in the Stack Overflow. Then I feel like if I don't take this time to get out of that loop, if I don't find a condition to break the shell, then it will be a trouble to my mentality. So that's why I pretend to be hardworking. after work, I even applied for unlimited pass for dancing class, which I never attended before. So it's in Sri Petaling Mustang Dance Academy, which is very far from the place where I work. I need to drive more than 1 hour to that dance academy to learn dancing after that. Then after I reach home, it's like 12 a.m. already. Then I bath and continue working for a while, then only sleep. Then the next day is the same. Then I realized that this is not a good way to do stuff. Yeah, this is not normal. Then I even had troubles because of unable to focus. So there's one time where by the way, Grab does provide free coffee, so that's why I go there very early. Free coffee, free biscuits, then free for snacks. Yeah. Then yeah, there's time where I couldn't focus and when I driving. So it caused some issues, some issues there. Then I realized that I cannot be like this. Yeah, life is not working like that. It's not only about work. Yeah. So because of lack of concentration, I did many stupid stuff. Yeah, and made many rubbish incidents. Like I dropped my company's laptop. Yeah, Grab does provide a MacBook for us to use. Yeah, so it's like this. Grab provides the employees for engineering department a MacBook Pro. They provide the interns or the other employees in other departments Dell computer, Dell laptop. Yeah, so we are using a MacBook. Uh, which is very how to say it's very good, but when you drop it, it's also feeling very good. Yeah, the time because of they mentioning they have some issues in production, which I feel like there's a very huge issue that I have caused because I didn't ask the team to help me to do a deployment. So I was really nervous that time, be afraid of affecting the actual user. So I bring the laptop to the zoo and yeah, to the zoo with my family early in the morning. Then that
To the
at that
zoo.
time to the zoo, yeah, to the I think it's Zoo Negara. Then when the animals are in front of me, right in front of me, they are performing. Then because I was too nervous and loss of concentration, yeah, I dropped the laptop. Then I feel like the world is over already. At that time, yeah, I really feel that yeah, no matter how hard I work, the result is not good. So it's not a matter of how hardworking you are or you pretending to be busy. So that's one of the things I realized. I cannot proceed like that. So that's the in my middle stage of uh, early and middle stage of internship. That's my life at that time. Then after that, I realized I cannot like that. So I moved to another stage, which is the stage of slacking. So because
Slacking.
I've mentioned just now that Grab has many procedures. Then I have many codes pending for review, and nobody wants to review because they are all busy in their stuff or people who are working in permanently, they will not most of them will not work after office hour, but I do work after that. So I have many codes pending for review and pending for to be processed. Like every day I will have a morning call to all of the team members and say that, oh, please help me review this codes. Then nobody wants to bother me. That's why I have plenty of time actually in the later stage after I've done the integration task. So at that time, I started to go to office late. Like office hour is 10. I go at 2. So other than that, I'm working from home. I work from home like until afternoon. Then afternoon only I go there. Can avoid traffic jam. And yeah, it's no difference actually for us engineers. We work from home. Then we go to office. It's no difference. And because the office in Grab is in One Utama, the food is extremely expensive. Yeah, I spend most of my money spending on the food with other colleagues. It's a really fun experience, but it's costly.
Fun
Yeah.
experience.
So there's the later stage. So I go to the office late. I come back early. So in the later stage, I try to adjust the time which I work, and I try to not overdone myself. Yeah, that's the later stage. So I just now I see questions related to what
SC
things
student.
yeah, related to SC students who are not in not in programming, is it? Not good in programming. You think you are not good in programming? Yeah. So yeah, I think again, I've seen many of the students during my demonstration in class who are not really interested in programming. I cannot say not really good. It's something that you can train actually. You know you are not good, then you just train it. It's still early for you actually. Time is the same for everyone. So it can't be you can't be blaming about your specification, your specs. You're not computer, you're not PC. Yeah. If you think you are low specs, you cannot change PC because this is you, and you don't we all don't know whether we have afterlife or not. So just be more confident on your skill level and do whatever you can to improve it. So one of my colleagues, he said like this, there are 4 types of things. Yeah. I think I've mentioned to many people already. So there are 4 types of things. Things that you know that you know, you know that you don't know, you don't know that you know, you don't know that you don't know. Yeah. These 4 things. I'm not sure who said this. Yeah. Then I'm not sure who is the original author, but at least you know what you don't know, right? Then you can do something to overcome it. Yeah. Life is not only about giving motivations. Yeah. It's about sometimes you need to force yourself a bit. You think you are bad, then you go to do something. Nobody is responsible for your own life, I can say. Yeah. Although it's a very, very harsh reality. So if you are unable to achieve what you hope you can achieve, actually you need to be responsible for it. So it's not about asking for help or the kind of things. Yeah, because what I can say is that my style is to maximize my control over my life. So if let's say if you feel like you cannot control the life anymore, it means you need to do something. Yeah, to maximize whatever you can control. Uh you can do for your own self. Yeah, for your own good. Yeah. So there's about not really good in programming, but if you're I didn't answer your question actually. What field should you choose? What field should you choose? As an intern, you just choose whatever you are interested to learn. Yeah, it actually it doesn't matter. At the end, you will learn something that can help you in the future. I can say because time is the same for everyone. Everyone is having the same opportunity of having a 6 months internship. It's up to you to learn things that you want to know. The people who are interviewing me that time are all engineers, so they don't choose the field for me actually. So after I joined Grab, only they ask me what I want to learn. Then if you know yourself better, you know, oh, I'm interested in data science, just ask whether you have a fields that related or more relevant to data science or data processing. Then can I join that position? Or maybe some companies' policy is like a routine, so they provide you like first week or first month you go to this department, then there's the second month you go to the other departments like to meet with the product team members. So it depends on your luck. If you choose a good company, then you should be able to learn a bunch of stuff that you are not able to get if you are staying 6 months in hostel or 6 months in university. Yeah, you cannot get this thing one. So after I joined Grab, then the next semester, which is this semester, I am involved in 2 projects currently. So before this, I don't even dare to pick up a project and be in charge of it. Then after that, I know, okay, at least I know how to do API, how to do the backend coding. Then that's why I agreed to join the teams, which are 2 projects. Both are to help people under this COVID-19 situation. So I know what fields I can contribute, then only I go for it. That's the outcome of the learning outcome of what I have learned in Grab. But it's a painful, I can say it's a pretty painful experience for me, especially when you're having a mental breakdown, something like that. At that period, nobody will help you. Your friends are all busy in their work. Then after you come back from work, nobody is with you actually. So I can show you one last thing, which is the comments from my colleagues. They do give me some slides for this is a slide for the comments about me. So I'll say a little bit about the things that they say about me, which is more specific one. There are the iOS developer in Malaysia, who are Walter. Walter, he said that just drop up and come back to RTC. RTC, which is the tech family, is in Grab, which is the team I'm in. So he asked me to going back to work instead of continue studies. Then Kabirut, another guy from Thailand, which is currently working in iOS team in Malaysia. He said very general stuff. Okay, you have the motivation and continuous self-improvement, these kind of things. Then there are colleagues, there are colleagues in Singapore which say that I'm morning calling them. I'm morning calling them every morning, which is they're going to miss me for leaving this leaving this team. Yeah, these kind of things are their comments, and we do have a trip. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, so we do have a meeting with all the employees in Singapore. So at least have a glance or who are them. Okay. Yeah. By the way,
I
most of
see.
them are Indians, right? Most of them are Indians, so that's why my first and early and middle stage is most
Stressful.
busy one during Deepawali, where many employees go to holiday already, like go to 2 until 4 weeks of holiday. Then I had to handle most of the stuff during that time. Yeah. That's it.
I see that you mingle well with your
Okay.
colleagues during your internship period of time, and you have acquired quite amount of management skills as well as technical skills during the internship period. I think we agree that life is a life. How do I rephrase it? Life is a learning process till the end of our life. It's a bit sentimental, I would say, this early. How about Afri?
Yeah.
How about your life? Not the technical part of it, the social part of it in DGX.
Yeah, okay. So again, as I said before, the Jax is very flexible in a way. So again, what I wear is what I wear to the job is what I wear when I go to class lah, except with shoes lah. So which is so we cannot wear slippers cannot lah. But yeah, basically there's no like a attire rules or something like that. So it depends also on the company lah. So for like office hours, right? Officially, again, there's official and non-official one. So the official one is 9 to 6 technically, but most of the engineering team came at 10. So eventually, I became them. So I come at 10 and leave at
Assimilated into the culture.
yeah, I like assimilated, even though the official one is a bit different. So I think this thing is very common in some companies lah. It depends also, but yeah, it's quite flexible in terms of time because they don't really care if you they don't really monitor if you come on, like I said before, no attendance and all that stuff. So as long as you do the work and as long as you don't miss meetings, like if you've set like meetings you need to come lah, you cannot, that part is not flexible. Meetings should be done if it's initiated already. So yeah. So in terms of life, I see that some question where they say what is it like how they treat you, right? So for me, how they treat me is like they say straight up, they told me yeah, this one more of in term of full-time stuff. So for me, they treat me like a full-time staff. They told me that, but in a way, they also treat me like intern. The job scope is intern, but the way they treat me with like with friends and on like kind of stuff, like they treat me like a full-time staff lah. They don't treat me like interns. Just go with interns, even though technically I'm the only one intern for like 2-3 months, I think. So yeah, it's in a way it's a good thing to be treated as a full-time staff, but in a some kind of other way is a bit scary for you lah, because sometimes they give you full-time stuff kind of work, so you're expected to, even though you're intern, you try to learn, but you kind of need to do like a very real work, which is good and bad, in a at the same time, because the good thing is you got to do a real work lah, not like a dummy assignment or something. So that's a good thing, but it's very scary lah, of course, because you're an intern. You know, like how Xiong said, he's very scared to if it affects the actual user, because that's the ultimate goal of a company. Also, you if the customer is mad, you are the one to be blamed sometimes. So it's very scary if you think about it, because even if you any of you have worked in a retail sometime, so even if you screw up there, that is also scary. But imagine you screw up in a code or like a software that make money, so that's very scary, but also very good in a way that you are trained to be more of a full-time employee lah. So
It's like a trial version of your permanent employment.
it's like a trial, but it's very serious trial one. It's not like
Intense one.
yeah, intense one.
Better than the Microsoft trial.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's like WinRAR trial.
Previously, you mentioned about data science. There's a question from our viewer. How good must your portfolio be if you want to apply for data science intern? Like, how many related projects that you have to have in your repository?
Okay, or you can just bring it. Okay, so
I ask guys. I think Zaidan will know more.
yeah,
Yeah, we are SE, right?
I'm not sure about the really about data ML stuff, but I think generally what I can say is even for me, I have I don't really I do have some portfolio before I apply for internship, which is actually the for SE students, web programming assignment. I do bring that up in interviews, and also I did some like personal project like, which is very, to be honest, it's not very, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't very, it's not very a very complex one, but maybe that helped because you are intern. So I think they want you to they if they see that kind of stuff, like you take initiative to learn, I think that's a very good thing. And also um for the portfolio part, when at the end of my internship, right, they told me like uh, because I do give them links to my portfolio, right? So they told me that, oh yeah, I remember they see this thing that I did that kind of interests me, that kind of interests them to kind of hire me lah. So that, I think that could help lah, even though it's not like a guarantee, but that could help lah if you put just put anything that you did, actually anything at all that helps you to tell them that you know how to code and you know how to do stuff, even though the question asked is about data science, right? So anything data science related project that you've done, like even though you've tried like simple, I'm not sure, technology, all that, you think that for you, you feel like that is very simple thing. Maybe for them it's good enough to see that in interns, because not everyone have done what you've done, even though you feel like that's very easy one. So just put put it, especially if you're proud of it. So just try to put it in a CV, or try to bring up in a conversation in interview, because that will have a then you have a topic to talk about in the interview. So that's a good thing lah.
Like to prove your relevance in the field that you're
Yeah,
applying for.
it's like telling them like, yeah, I can do. I don't know a lot of stuff, but I am trying to learn. So that's kind of like a subtle message they're trying to give them. Not subtle, you want to give them, just tell them like that. Yeah.
That's a brilliant answer. For this question, why not we ask again tomorrow? There'll be another speaker, the intern at and in a company that is related to artificial intelligence and ML. I think that would be more suitable to be asked.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why you?
Yeah, exactly. It's why.
Hi, why you? If you're listening.
Like, there's another question as well. Like the by Ilota Lam, I've heard of interns that go on to become part-time staff even after
Oh,
the internship period overs. How
that was
can he increase the chances of
Oh.
opportunities?
I think I can answer this. Okay, before you think about getting a job, a part-time job there, you need to think first. Okay, if you really like the culture of the company, if you don't like it, then yeah, this is the reason why sometimes it's better to have internship this semester because you have your
dreams.
ability to draw out if yeah if you don't like that company. So it's not about one way like company want to choose you or not. It's about you whether you want to choose that company. Uh,
We
so
choose them. We choose them. They choose us.
yeah,
Yeah, we
so
are
so
well,
yeah,
university Malaya students, right? So we'll be choosing the companies instead of the companies choosing us.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
if you don't do something like crimes there, then it should be fine. They will like someone who has knowledge of their company to continue working there because they don't want to lose like precious resources that I cannot say people as resources, but workforce that yeah that already know the workflow of that company, right? So don't worry about that. Yeah, just do whatever you can. It's not under your control. Yeah.
It's not really under control.
There's another question from Coughing Lim as well. It's regarding the site learnings that the companies will be providing you access to, like the website of Udemy.
Mm.
Does anyone like have this kind of privilege provided by the company, respective company? This question is open.
Yeah. I think for me, DG they do provide that, but not for interns lah. They provide it for the permanent staff. But I think if you close enough, I think maybe if you depends on your relationship with the other staff. Sometimes they will like let you access it with their accounts. I think that is very possible. But usually interns don't really get all those benefits that permanent staff get, even though they treat you like a permanent staff. So yeah, it depends on the company also. For me,
How
it's
about
not.
for DJX? It's not lah. So you have you'll be
Yeah,
supervised by a supervisor like in teaching you on how to do things lah.
yeah. So for the task that I was given, um, it's very independent, to be honest. They just let me know what they want, and then they just let me, maybe they give you some guidance, like a bit of, they say maybe use this, they give some suggestion lah, maybe you can try this, you can try this, but then you need to figure out on your own lah, essentially. So it's not like they will, it's not like I think tutorial or something like that. They don't give you like step by step. Maybe in the early stage they do, but after for 2-3 months they will expect you to at least understand, at least know how to figure out things yourself lah. Yeah.
And search for Stack Overflows, right?
Also, yeah, Google, anything at all, actually. Anything at all, as long as you get the answers.
How about Zaidan?
Yeah.
Does Spinology provides any kind of access to online learnings?
No. Online, no. Not like Udemy and all. We just search it by ourselves. They don't provide such tools for us to use. I mean, I don't know about full. I don't think full times also they search it online. But for me, definitely, I don't have that kind of benefit.
So you are as well similar to Afrie, where you'll be guided by a supervisor, a living supervisor on
Yeah,
of a
yeah. I have a
virtual.
supervisor that will guide me, and I think that's one of the reason why I'm a bit traditional in a sense where I like discussing complex ideas on how to do stuff face to face, as in because I'm so used to it, and somehow if I work remotely, I sometimes didn't get the gist of the idea. Actually, that kind of happened also once during my internship where I kind of screwed up in production as well. So so because of that, I avoid discussing complex ideas virtually. I mean, in messaging, more like I need to go to the office.
To have a physical communication or some sort of
Yeah,
interaction.
yeah.
How
But
about just sorry?
uh, for my style, I mean the company style, usually for one supervisor, one senior developer, they have only one intern. And during my time, we have 3 interns at that time. So yeah, I mean, you can say we are babysitted. What's the word?
One to one,
Yeah, one
one
on one lah.
supervision.
Yeah, one to one
Mentor,
supervision,
mentee.
and we have a team leader also. The
A
team leader will
personal
be
coach,
supervising the developers, and then the full-time developers will be supervising the interns. So that's the hierarchy that exists.
the hierarchy exists. How about
Yeah.
Xiong? Are you provided with any online?
Okay, so yes, we do. We have onboarding courses built by the Grab itself for engineering department. But at first, I didn't have the access, so request for it, then get access. Inside the resources are for permanent workers to help them in setting up the environments, because we are provided a MacBook Pro which is empty. Yeah, so we need to set up the environment by ourselves to be able to run it locally, to be able to understand slowly the flow of that onboarding course. But still, I can say that most of the stuff is not listed in the onboarding course. Yeah, especially when the onboarding course is too general. So because we have many microservices for the backend infrastructure, so every microservice will have their own, I can say, culture of people coding their project. So onboarding is only for reference. The rest of the things need to Slack and ask people in Singapore. Right. It depends on your team. We do have some core team in Malaysia also. Yeah. This is for Grab's case. Yeah. We do provide that.
So for students that are interested in doing networking overseas, they can join Grab as well, right? To do some networking in Singapore.
You mean the actual networking or social networking?
Networking.
Or social networking. Or if you want to learn the real networking stuff, not networking stuff. But because, and as I mentioned just now, engineering interns only provided some development position. So I don't know actually anything related to DevOps, which is really important. DevOps is really important. CI/CD stuff, deployment stuff. This kind of things is like in Grab as an intern, so need to consider also. Right.
And if anyone wants a MacBook Pro during internship period, they can go Grab.
Yeah. I actually mess with that laptop 2 times already. The first time I spilled the coffee on the keyboard. Then luckily it was fine the time. The second time I dropped it, then yeah, it's gone. The repair fees were about more than 2,000, and they don't want to repair it already. So they just discard it. And luckily I was not fined for that. It's a story of a MacBook Pro. I think I was given a smaller MacBook Pro. Yeah, smaller size.
So we should be careful with what is provided by the company from
The company assets. Don't mess with it. Yeah.
There's another question from our viewer about, do you choose the same company if you are given the chance to work for that company?
Yeah. Okay, let me try to answer this. Because this one is kind of related with the part-time thing. Because if I were chosen to give same company after, like, for example, graduation, right? So I'm not sure about that actually. I do kind of want to work because I'm familiar with it already, but I do also want to explore and try other new companies, maybe that it's more just to have experience, like, to try different companies. But how do I say this? Technically, I did actually work for the same company because currently they did offer me a part-time job, so technically I accepted, and I am technically working with them after intern. So yeah, I think even Zaidan is working with them with the previous company part-time also. There's a lot of even my friends, some of them were given like opportunity to do part-time job. So but this one is not our focus actually. We never thought about this. It just come in a after at the end stage of the internship, because even my supervisor itself, they tell me to just drop out of college and work with them. So so yeah, it shows lah. How so the only thing that maybe if you're interested, maybe you can ask if you're interested if they didn't offer you. But if you I think the advice that I can say, if you want to do that, maybe just do your job very well, maybe they will consider you, especially if it's a very small team lah, especially small team that startups like that. So I think they will definitely hire you if you do good enough job and they don't have enough manpower. So manpower or resource, workforce, I mean. Yeah.
So personally, would you be joining them not for
Ah,
part-time but permanent worker after you have graduated?
yeah, it is a consideration lah. It will be considered because of, as I said before, uh, I am familiar with it already. But again, it's not like I will definitely go there. It's just another consideration that will be very easier for me because they know me and I know them already. So yeah.
How about Zaidan? Will you be going back to phenology?
Well, Afrie did mention that I'm working with them currently, but in my case, I'm not in the engineering team anymore. I'm more in the business admin, not business admin. I can't remember the name, but it's more towards the business side where you meet clients and all. But I'm more towards the tech side of it. I'll tell you the story behind it. So essentially, I don't want to become a QA tester. uh, just because it's a bit of a hassle, I guess, and not really my interest anymore. It is my interest for a while, and then not anymore. So they did offer me. Let's say if I finish my study, they did offer me to come back to them. But I told them I'll think about it. But in my mind, I said I already said no already. But uh, but for after the intern, I have a lot of connections in the company in the sense for an engineering, because usually engineering they stay upstairs, they don't really go downstairs floor with the business and the marketing team, but I do because my desk is downstairs somehow. So I talked to a lot of them and somehow I got this gig from my partner where in the business team where I need to go to events and all, and they will pay me by day lah, essentially. And essentially, it's enough lah for me to sustain. That's my after, just for the time being, part time stuff. Also, right now I'm doing a freelance project work, so that's also one of the things that's been going on to me right now. But to fully answer your question, no, I will not go back there. Just because I'm not interested in the job scope that they will be offering me. Maybe they offer a different job scope. Maybe I'll go back lah, because I do like the environment there. I'm still in contact with them, also with the engineering team. We do still hang out with each other, but in terms of work, I won't be doing the same job again.
I see, I see. So you don't like that kind of client facing
Right now I'm
career?
a client facing career right now. That is just a part-time gig. Whenever they need manpower, they just gonna call me up and they pay me by day. I do remember a question related to it, like chances to get part-time job, continued to the company, I guess. Something related to that. I guess it depends on opportunity and also the demand of the company, let's say. Because I have this one friend, actually I think he's in the live stream. His name is Daniel Haikal. He works at DG. So basically he's a devotee student who designs who make who always designs stuff for them. And right now he's working for them also, like part-time, not really fully, but part-time lah. And I guess and he said to me it's because they do in need of those kind of people, designers. So I guess it depends on the demand. If there's a demand, then they will offer also lah.
That's good. How about Xiong?
Okay, for me, well, the situation currently is that we always need to remember that the we always don't know how far will the financial crisis impacts us for after this coronavirus has gone, how the IT industry will be like. So if you are given a chance to work at the company, don't talk about me, talk about you. You are too early to ask this question actually. You're still first year. Well, it's about you, whether you want to play safe or you want to play dangerous. Because now is I believe that I'm not sure how IT industry will be like, but it's likely that the position allocated for freshmen will be less. So you will need to have more skills. So if you want to play safe, if you don't want to risk your career having an unemployed status after graduation, then I think securing a job is quite a it's also it's okay to secure a job. Yeah, it also depends on the contract that the agreement provided. So let's say if you have to work like 10-20 years after with a company, then no, obviously. So it depends on how long you want to work with the company, how long you're bounded, right? But for me, I can't say anything first. I don't want to say anything. Later the decision might change according to the situation. I can say like that. Yeah. But obviously, Grab doesn't provide any part-time position, so I didn't work with them after that. Yeah. So all of the engineers must be full-time in Malaysia, right?
It's a case-to-case based consideration.
Yeah. It's very opinion based on personal opinion. Right?
Uh-huh. And regarding about the COVID nowadays, the COVID pandemic that our country has been hit by, what do you think about the retrenchment that most of the companies are doing? And some of the startups, they are not taking in interns as well because they are in financial tight position. So do you have any advice to give to the juniors regarding this?
So again, again, it's not our control, not under our control. So it also depends on the situation of companies. Then I think it would be better if we don't make assumption first. Yeah, just try to approach whatever company. This is the only thing that we can do. We just focus on what we can do to secure ourselves. Especially now the situation is that we don't know which companies are highly impacted. So if I'm living in this batch, I will not just apply for Grab. Yeah, this is a bad choice, a worst choice ever to apply only for one company. Then you need to consider applying more companies if you haven't done so. And don't expect to have the same experience as us. Maybe you have to work from home the entire semester, right? You don't have to care about dressing anymore. You want to, yeah, wear whatever also can at home, right?
It's situational.
Yeah.
How about Zaidan? What do you see this kind of situation nowadays, the COVID situation, and what should the juniors expect from this situation itself?
I don't think they have much choice, to be honest, regarding this. I mean, whatever offer that you've been presented on, I guess try to take it first. Maybe down the line, maybe you found another offer, maybe you can make the decision also. But I would say that whatever offers that you got, do consider it lah, in a sense, because like Xiong said, we don't know which industry is really affected by it. Even I don't know what's the current status at my old intern company. So yeah, that's my advice.
Afrie, is there any ongoings in DJX about retrenchment or anything happening, and the expectation of juniors towards the coming internship? Should they be putting a limit on their salary? I mean, the allowance that they are getting during internship, or they just accept whatever they are offered? It should be.
It's hard to comment on this because I think nobody even have experience in this kind of situation before. So, but if I were to apply internships, if I were second year today, right, I would just do the same. I think just just keep applying and hoping for the best lah. And for regarding like payment or something like that, it's a good thing if they give you a good enough payment, but for now maybe focus on what you want to learn, and if you like the company, stuff like that, just focus more on the learning part. It's not that I'm saying payment is bad. Don't if you have two companies that you like and then one give you better payment, choose the better payment lah. But but yeah, don't for me the main focus right now is choose on the company. If you're given a choice, choose the one that you are more interested in, and if you think that they have a better culture that fit you or something like that. So yeah, there will be the
So
sorry.
the allowance part should be put below the priority of your interest in getting that particular company lah.
I don't say it should, but I think for me, I do it like that lah. It depends on you guys also. Sometimes money is important, so it depends on the person itself. But for me, I would do. Definitely, I would. Who doesn't want a good payment, right? So definitely, I'm not saying that I'm not going to choose a good payment. So yeah, it's just I focus more on the learning part because that's why we do interns. It's not really for the payment, even though that's nice, but the focus is on learning.
I would like to
focus
add
of-
on. Yeah,
Yes.
for me, is the number one would be the relevance lah, as in the learning and the relevance to it to the course that I'm attending, which is basically, is it relevant enough for me to do this internship? And then number two, I would think about the logistics, including yeah. So regarding the payment, you do need to think about the logistics also, as in where do you live, how long will it take to commute, the transportation price, the cost are essentially the food there. Maybe you can tapao from home or something like that. I don't know. So, but you do need to think of that lah. Then let's say there's a company offer 1,000 and there's a company offer 800. But then for the 800 for the second company, your cost is around 100, including transportation and food, for example. But then for the first company, the $1,000, it would take around 300, 400. Maybe it's at LCC or something at a very expensive place. So you do need to think about that also lah.
It's relative to the logistic lah. The salary should be.
Yeah.
Xiong, how do you see the allowance provided by the internship company? The
as much as
priority of
possible.
it.
Okay, so the work content, I'm not sure. For me, my criteria is based on sense actually. It's like I want to choose that, okay, then go ahead. If you get that, okay. But again, for general advice, I would say that allowance is important. At least get 1,000. Right. So yeah, just get whatever you are supposed to get. You deserve it. You deserve it when you're a hardworking guy. When you never want to be exploited as an intern. Okay. Because if you are working so much that you're getting 300 per month, no, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. So just don't put yourself at too low level. If you are getting a allowance of 300, 500, I
don't
think
go. Don't accept.
yeah, So basically, on average, in KL area, you should be able to get allowance of about 1,500, I can say. Yeah, because many of my friends, they get above this. Yeah, so I'm the only one who get like 1,500. So in KL area, I say in Penang, it's about 1,000. Yeah, something like that. Baseline before
Muted.
coronavirus. Lehan, you are muted.
Muted again.
Oh, sorry, I muted again. So the allowance is relative to the location as well, right?
Yeah.
Can I say that? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So let's proceed to the obstacles that you might have faced during the internship period, and what are the advices you wanna provide the juniors with to overcome the ups and downs in during your internship period. Anyone can start first. It's open. It's open.
Okay. I guess let me start first.
Yeah, Afrie.
Okay. So for the like obstacles and stuff, so I think the main thing for me personally is just my personality. I think I'm just naturally shy and a bit conserved personality, especially in a new environment, and especially if you're the only one intern. So that doesn't help with your to cope with that lah. So, but one thing that how do I manage to get along with the other permanent staff, right? Because usually there's two main places that where I socialize with them a lot lah, which is the first one is lunch. They it depends on the company also. Some in my company they usually during lunch they invite everyone lah to eat lunch together, which is a good thing in a way, and sometimes it's not good when they go to like a 50 ringgit meal places. So so yeah, so I think if you feel like awkward or maybe not confident in your internship, right, I think lunch is a great way to socialize and talk about stuff outside of work. And the other part is because I think most of company, not most lah, maybe some of company nowadays have like a gaming area or like a grass area or something like that. So I think just get involved in there, even though if you don't play games, just go there and have a look, because there is where people don't really talk about work, so you can easily socialize, like easily brand. I think not really branding, it's easily it's more suitable way to socialize lah. It's not while you're doing work. When you're doing work, you need to focus. You don't want to talk like not you don't want to talk about non-work related stuff during work lah. So yeah, for me the drawback is because of I'm a bit shy and conserved naturally. So that would be the main thing that I need to overcome lah. But everything else is quite good lah, I would say. Yeah, that is for me. Muted again.
Yeah, you muted again.
I'm sorry. Communication is important, and
Yeah,
be focused on the tasks that you are assigned and do things according to different time.
yeah.
How about Zaidan? Do you have any obstacles that you face, and you might want to provide a solution for that as a case reference to the juniors?
Well, there's this one situation during the 1.5 month upgrade work that we need to do, where I have to so to give context, I have two supervisors. One is from the business team and one is from the engineering team. So I need to report to both of them at the same time, essentially. But they do always communicate to each other. And but I work more closely to the business side. Actually, not business. I'm more towards QA. Sorry, I feel that. So during that time, somehow she's on leave, and she's on leave for like 2 months because of her sickness. So I do so essentially in a team of 4 engineers and 2 QAs. When one QA is taken out, so essentially I'm the intern. I'm the lead QA in that specific product. So it's a big challenge for me. Even the GM general manager is also mentioned that to me that I need to step up my game lah, in a sense, especially during the upgrade season, the upgrade where it is very vital for me to finish the timeline. So that's why I always go back late because I do need to finish work. So sometimes I go back at 8 lah. But you know, it's the thing that you need to do lah. You need to step up a bit, and that will be one of my most challenging times lah during that time, because I need to manage the product all by myself as an intern, which thankfully I managed to do. And also, this is what my general manager also said to me during my last day, is that don't be afraid to make mistake. Because that's the thing for me. I do afraid to make mistake. He did compliment me that I'm very social. I'm actually one of the most social worker that is compared to all of the full timers somehow. So, but he did say that he saw that I'm afraid to do mistakes, because for that project that I referenced earlier, it did got delayed a bit. So I guess because I was being too careful about it. Well, I mean, I am an intern, and this project is quite big also. So of course I am, but he mentioned it to me that don't be afraid to do mistakes. You just need to learn from those mistakes, and that's the best learning method lah. Learning from mistakes.
Dark Master, you're muted again.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
We should be always prepared to meet lah, and we should not be stingy on time to spend more on our work. Working is all about learning about new things. Is that true, Zaidan?
yeah, that's true.
And making
I mean,
mistake
not
is
easy, yeah. Sure, you can say that.
and making
I
mistake
was a bit stingy, lah,
it's a way of learning lah.
I mean, making mistake, yeah, it's an essential part of learning. So yeah, don't be afraid to do that. I mean, be afraid of not learning anything after you make mistake. That's what you should be afraid of.
Okay, juniors out there, including me, I'll take this advice very seriously. Xiong, how about your drawbacks and your obstacles that you encountered and the advices you might want to give to the juniors?
I think I've mentioned my challenges just now already. So I will focus on the advice. Okay. First, don't put your laptop on your legs when you're working. Second, you don't put your coffee nearby. Then third one, you don't drive when you're tired. Fourth, don't miss the benefits. Okay, so like in Grab, if snacks is provided, just utilize it. If coffee is provided, use it properly. So whatever benefits, if every month you will have a team lunch or dinner, follow your colleagues to go there. Whatever benefits, you deserve it. Okay, so don't miss the train to enjoy some exciting stuff, interesting stuff that's provided by the company, right? Then also don't miss the chance. It is probably that even if you don't do anything, also you can graduate with flying colors. Yeah, this might be the culture that our no, most of the universities have. Yeah, so even if you don't work hard, you can kind of get that grade, but it is not grade for yourself. So don't miss the chance to learn new things, right? Everyone has the same amount of time, so utilize it properly, but don't overdo it. So you know how far you can do one. I believe that we are already kind of adult. We kind of know how to make a decision already, right? So don't be rely on other people too much. Yeah, most of the stuff we need to face ourselves on. Really depends on your own personal goal, your personality. Yeah, you can't ask the questions to workaholic, then yeah, he will say many things like you need to work hard. You need to work hard. Then if I tell you you need to work hard, you need to start working from now. You need to code every day aside from eating. Will you believe it? Will you listen to it? Yeah, no, right. So it depends on your personality, right? Try to love whatever you're doing. Don't find ways to avoid it. So you're not good in coding. You need to. I think this is something that you can train. Yeah, I'm not sure if motivation can be trained or it's impossible. At least until now, I haven't seen a case where motivation is trained. So people who don't like programming, they will don't like until yeah. So you try to train, try to understand yourself better. You can ask questions like you don't want to do something related to coding, but it's better for you to ask something like is there any position related to, for example, to product? Then we can tell you product manager maybe less coding, right? But don't want to do something is never an excuse for you. You need to understand yourself better. Then understand yourself. You know what you like already. Then go for it, right? Then for the application, internship application, or your way when communicating with other people in the company in office, you don't pretend to be good. Okay, so it is easy for an engineer, especially a senior engineer, to sense that you are bluffing them, to sense that you say you do this project, but actually you don't know anything. It's really easy. Even I can do that. I can. If you tell me what task you are doing, then I ask in details. If you cannot answer, then it means it is not belong to you. So don't pretend that you are having that skill set if you don't have, right? I see a lot of people pretending during conversation. Yeah, during conversation. So you don't need to do that actually. Yeah, just be yourself, right? We want to know, the interviewers want to know the real you. Okay, they don't want to know something like you put in LinkedIn. You put like programming enthusiast. Something like that. Something that's very general that doesn't carry any meaning. You don't need to put inside CV. Like I'm really interested in programming. Then it's not needed, right? Put some facts inside regarding yourself, right? Uh, like for me, for myself, when I'm putting CV, I don't put leadership in general. If I want to say about leadership, I will link it to my experience. Like I've organized this activity, or I've been the committee members of these activities. I don't say that I have leadership. Then that's it. That's it. No supporting facts. Right?
You prove
People
it instead of
yeah, you need to
telling
you
it.
need to do some proof. Yeah, like not simply say. I can say I'm 5-star in design, whereas I'm super bad in design. Yeah, it can be, right? So don't fake it, right? Try to admit that you are bad in this thing and go for it. It's still early for you. It's late for us already, but still early for you, right? You have time. You have 1 year, right? More time at home, then you can prepare for yourself. Right? Nobody will push you, then you push yourself. That's it for my advice. Right.
There's a question regarding non-coding roles available for in. How do you see this question? The answer to the question to the people that doesn't uh, they are not interested to be exactly in coding roles.
Non-coding roles, I think in product side, they don't touch much in coding. Like I'm not sure if Grab offer it, but in other companies they sure do some product management side. But the thing is that you cannot avoid coding one if you are in IT industry. Even if you are product side, you need to somehow know how it works to access the task. How many story points, how many days needed to complete the task. If you don't know coding at all, then, or if you don't know how to access the priority of a task based on the difficulty, you will also hit a wall. At last, you also need somehow you need coding, right? So also as a product manager, I can say that maybe I'm not sure. This one is a very opinionistic one. Maybe if let's say you are engineers, then your manager don't know how to code, then they keep assigning you tasks, so on and so forth. Will you feel happy for it? No, right? You will not get convinced for whatever things that he has mentioned. So as a people in that position, at least you need to prove yourself that you are convincing, you have that skill set. So whatever thing, don't try to avoid non-coding. Don't try to join any other fields just for the sake of you don't want to code. Okay, you can join because you want to try it, you're interested in it, but not because of you don't like to code. Yeah, I think so. This is my opinion only. Yeah. Okay.
IT
I
and
do agree.
CS and interrelated to codes. How about Zidane? Then Zidane, you wanna say something on this?
Well, I do half and half. I mean, I'm a bit hybrid, I guess. I do product stuff in a sense, not really product like analyst, but yeah, I do work closely also with the. I mean, engineers also work closely with the product team, but I do see how they work because I'm also a downstairs person, and product team desks are downstairs. So if you want the non-coding role, I guess it will be at the product team, designing and such. But like Jason said, don't avoid coding. You have assignments related to coding, so do it. Just do it.
How about Afrie?
Yeah, okay, so the non-coding roles, like for for DGX, they have this, I think they have this UI UX intern. So from my experience, as I see, because during my time they don't have UI UX interns, but previously, I mean, lately I saw like a in their website, DGX website, the internship, they put the UI UX role. So I think that would be one thing that you could consider you doing UI UX, because in DGX the UI UX people don't really do any codes, so that might be something that you will be interested in. And also some of our friend, which is Daniel Haikal here, I'm not sure if he is here or not, but I think
He's here.
he
He's
do,
here.
yeah, he do the UI UX stuff also in DG, and I'm not sure if he do any coding, but yeah, I think if you not really into coding that much, UI UX is one of a way that you can try lah, to see if that's suitable for you. Yeah, it's also, but it depends on company. Sometimes UI UX in different company do coding. Sometimes they don't even touch at all. It's just maybe you can ask that in the interview, but don't ask it like uh, if you ask it like do this role have coding job, then it's very weird question lah. It's just maybe ask like how what can I expect from these roles or something like that. So ask appropriately. Don't show that you don't want coding. I mean, yeah, don't ask appropriately. Just don't show you don't want something, as Jia Zhong say. Maybe show them that you want to try something else instead of don't, because don't use the reason don't want to code as a reason why you want this role. Use uh, if you want to try something, then use that reason to try that role. Don't use you don't want something to try this. Use you want it, something like that. If you understand what I mean lah. Yeah.
You're muted again.
It's like intelligently rephrasing the question.
Yeah. Also not just rephrasing, just in your mindset also. Don't just change your mindset a bit lah. Just instead of don't want to code, maybe use it like different. You want to try something new instead of coding, something like that. Yeah.
Be smart.
By the way, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure why. What is the what do all? I mean, you feel about coding? Yeah, it's for me. Coding is not only about coding. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about the mindset, right? So it's the greatest thing that I have learned via programming is the mindset, is the logical thinking. Yeah, these kind of things. I think it's the same as we doing mathematics. Yeah, We know how to derive stuff. We know how to set up the logic in sequence, right? To visualize the things that we want to. So these kind of things, the most important thing is the logical thinking and the capability of breaking down problems into sub-problems, right? So it applies to your life actually. So so if
Coding is the
you
solution.
coding is only you represent
Tools.
it. It's only a tools. It's the thing that's important is the mindset, right?
Yeah.
You learn how to solve your own problem by applying the stuff that you have learned, which is more general stuff. Yeah, the things that not only to program something, it's about life, right? That's it for me. So
Coding on the surface, it's just coding, but when you look deeper into coding, it's about learning how the algorithmic flow of it, and to train yourself to be more logical wise and to go flow by flow, or to break down problems into smaller problems and deal with them one by one. Is that true?
yeah, because something the most obvious outcome is that after I learned coding, I start to realize that when I'm doing reports, it really improves my the logic inside the reports. So it is more relatable. So I don't simply do assignment reports for the sake of writing something, for the sake of writing a report only. I will start to justify why I write this line, why I do that, why I do this. It is not necessarily a good thing, but this is the outcome of learning programming. For me, I start to think too much after learning that. Yeah. In every aspect in the life also. Yeah, I still think too much for that's the consequences of if you learn
In a
programming.
good sense,
It's not necessary. Yeah, it's a two-sided edge, right?
There's a question from the first year. What should they do in order to prepare for their second year's internship program?
Start applying
You can-
even in
Oh,
by the way,
applying now.
No, don't apply yet.
you can actually.
But by the way, this question has a simple answer. You see how your seniors do, how your second year seniors do. Then first year you'll know already. Oh, okay. But because the direct impact is towards the second year students, so they have to face this no matter how. Same like us. We are going to graduate like next January. Then hopefully yeah. Then there's the things that we have to worry about after this. So you as a first year students, I don't think it will affect you that much from the sense that if it affects us, right? It's so you can refer to your seniors if you really have problem at that time, how they solve it, how they cope with it. Yeah.
The second years should be the one interviewing. I mean,
Front line.
interview the front lines to be guiding the juniors, the coming juniors. How about Afrie? What do you think about that?
Yeah, for as I said before, if you want to have a head start, maybe you can start applying for intern, because some of the company do accept intern even if, because there's a lot of, because internship you don't require to be in a university. You can just do interns anytime, anytime. Even if you, for example, if you from different field and then you want to change to computer science, but not that's out of the topic right now. For first year, I think if you eager to learn or something like that, you can try to apply for interns, but just maybe if it's a bit overwhelming at first, but it's to be honest, it's very encouraged to do interns because it will very help you in your life lah, in your career as a CS programmer and stuff. So for first year, you can try to apply for interns. Just be sure what you're applying for lah. Just, and you make sure you don't just apply for the sake of applying. You make sure you prepare for just like how those second years preparing, you can do the same and start applying. It will be no difference to the company. It will be very, they are glad if you are. It will be very beneficial also if you say you have intern experience without university forcing you, something like that. Yeah, it's like a personal intern. It will be very beneficial in your CV also. Yeah, but yeah,
So during their first year, they can actually go for their intern during the
yeah,
summer break, like the
even
3 to 4.
for 2 to 3 months also good enough. Just during the interview, just tell them like this is my personal. There's nothing attached. I think so. Yeah, it would be very
That
beneficial for you guys to intern.
to be added into the CV while they
Mm,
are applying to the actual internship of our
yeah.
program.
And also if you don't get the intern position and you go to the interviews already, that is some experience there also. Even if you don't get the position, but during the interview, that's the experience which is very valuable also. So you kind of get a head start from your peers. So there's nothing to be lost. There's nothing to be lost. Yes.
By the way, actually, I see juniors who intern in first year, but they are interning in 3 months basis, which will affect their first month of study. So you
Yeah.
make sure that if you are making this decision, you need to get the approval from the faculty first. Yeah, don't do it by yourself, then skip the class for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Make sure you don't
Yeah,
don't
you need to get the approval first. Right?
Yeah.
Don't anyhow do. Yeah. That's it for the 3 months intern.
How about Zaidan?
Mm-hmm. What was the question again?
The internship during first year.
During first year, yeah. I mean, if you have the time, and I guess you can say that. Let's say, for me, how I see it is, I'm not a disciplinary person now. So I guess if you are bounded to an organization, you are kind of forced to learn. I guess if you want to look it that way. I mean, during my first year, I didn't do like personal projects and stuff. I just kind of waste my time lah. Essentially, only during second year the reality slaps into me. But yeah, I think it would be a very beneficial lah if you want the first year student wants to do the summer internship. One can say, but I think the original question was regarding COVID. Is it something like that? Yeah. So I would say go for it if you want to do during the first year, but
Be mindful.
during your second year, like the mandatory internship, I don't think there's much for you to worry about lah. I guess. I mean, those apply to the current second years right now, not to the first year.
We don't know what might happen in the future,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
do what
Let's try to be optimistic lah, in a sense.
I think we have exceeded some time, so shall we wrap it up?
Yeah.
We start from Xiong to wrap it up. For Xiong's part.
So in short, first you apply first, then you go for interview. That's it lah. So
Yeah.
there's nothing special, right? So yeah, try your best. Good luck for all the best for applying for your internship. If you have already got it, secure it, then congratulations. So if you haven't,
Don't worry.
need to do it as fast as possible, because for Grab, right, I waited for more than a month to process the offer, right? So make sure that you already start doing it. You already start drafting your own CV and send to many companies as you can, right? If you have any situation where you can't get allowance due to COVID, I think you need to compare first, compare different offers. Is it really true that we won't receive any allowance already, or in other companies they are still providing allowance? This one we can't really assure. Yeah, this one we can't really assure. All I know is that before this, right? Because we are not some intern students like a very specific domain one, like the aircraft engineering. I think they don't receive any allowance because they got access to the aircraft, to the airplane. So there's the case for them. But for us, I don't think it is logical for us not receive any payment for our work, right? But I'm not sure. Right. At the end, don't worry about things that you cannot control. Just focus on the things that you can. Whatever you can do now, you just do it, right? If you know you are a kind of person who will procrastinate for your work, try not to. There's no other things already. You know what to do actually, just you don't do. So you might not do. Yeah. So that's it for me. Good luck, all the best. Then try to understand that we have the same time, although we are at home, but still the time flows. The time where we are graduated, the time when the internship comes, will soon arrive. Yeah, the time will fly. Yeah, that's it for me. That's my conclusion. Thanks.
Focus on the moment.
Yeah, thank you, Master.
How about Zaidan?
Yeah.
Do you have any last words?
My last word, use all of your cuti, I guess. Use all of your holidays before the intern ends. However, you may want to strategize that, I don't know, but just use it.
Leave provided.
Leave, yeah, leave. Just use it. I can't think of anything else. Try to love what you are doing, whatever the job that you got. Try to love it. But let's say if maybe in a sense where the employers maybe trying to take advantage of you, taking advantage in a sense where giving you too much work, like you need to work during the night. I mean, you don't get enough rest. I think you can do something about it. I'm not sure. I think you can contact the lecturers about it, and maybe you can change. But I doubt that will happen, especially in the IT company. But I don't know. Just in case, if you feel like getting used, do know that there are people that you can go to report, I guess, in a sense. Yeah, that's my last word. You are muted again. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the last word. Afrie, how about your last word before we actually end the session?
Yeah. So again, don't be afraid of internship. It's a platform for you to learn, and especially good if you get money. So see this as a paid learning platform instead of you paying universities, right? It's they pay you to learn. So yeah, generally just don't be afraid of internship. I know it's a bit it will be overwhelming, but I think if you do like preparation, like with if you really set your mindset to the right thing, I think it will be good experience overall, especially if you know what you're trying to do. You don't try not to do internship because you have to do internship. Try to do it because you want to do it, something like that. Yeah, basically lah. Yeah.
Thank you for the advice, and I think we have arrived at the end of our session.
Yeah.
Before we actually formally end it, shall we take a picture?
Oh, okay.
A screenshot. So we Aiman, you'll be screenshooting the YouTube. Just inform us in the chat when you are ready to screenshot it so that we can prepare ourselves.
Okay. Wait. Screenshot, is it?
Yeah, screenshot. Okay.
How do we know?
So,
Is it done already? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
This is so
even virtual photography session.
Then okay, thank you for joining, and we
Thank you.
look forward to host you guys again on different topics. And if there's any seniors out there who would like to contribute to our YouTube, the content making, to do so is for the benefits of our faculty. And if you want to contribute in terms of recorded videos, we do actually accept recorded videos to be put up at our YouTube channel, Percom YouTube channel. But if you are interested in writing an article on that, you can send us the article or do inform us on the article so that we can provide the guidelines. The article will be put up at our FSKTM career portal. Thank you once again, and thank you for the viewers for joining today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Forget tomorrow's forum.
Oh,
Tomorrow there's a forum on two students. One student will be from artificial intelligence, and the other one will be from multimedia. One he worked at a startup, artificial intelligence emerging technology startup, and the other one is working in an MNC, oil-based MNC, Slumberjay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.